You're free! How wonderful!
Not feeling it, DJ.
Yes, well, I understand how overwhelming this all must be, but so uplifting to have you back where you belong.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel for another episode recap for today's Days of Our Lives. Happy July. We're in a new month, new Monday. Hope you guys are doing well and had a good weekend. So we're gonna start this off with this first scene, right? Where we see Kristen is at the restaurant, right? And she gets a call from Brady, right? So Brady is checking in on Rachel. He wants to ask Kristen if he can take her to see the fireworks, right? Because he's thinking that, okay, Kristen is now the CEO of the Mirror, so she will be busy. She don't have no time for her daughter, right? So she said, not because I'm CEO doesn't mean that I won't have time for my daughter, right? But anyways, she said she's in a good mood, so she will allow it, right? So Barry said he just wants to make time for his kids, and he just wanted to spend extra time with her. And I can relate to it on a level because of co-parenting, right? Sometimes co-parenting is not so it's not so like black and white, right? It's not the easiest thing to do, and I know a lot of you guys can relate to that, right? So then we move on to the next scene, right? So we move on to the next scene where we see Tate coming in after Brady had his conversation with Teresa, right? So Tate is saying, oh, you're going to the fireworks with Rachel, right? And he's saying, yes, he said, that sounds good because, it's better than to be cooped up here, right? So he's like, you want to come? I didn't know you want to come along with me and your kid sister. And he's like, no, that's not for me. But then they got to talking about the whole thing with him and Holly. And he's saying it's completely unfair how he's being treated and how Teresa is acting, right? So he's like appealing to his dad to just talk to his mom to kind of back down and just allow him to see Holly, So Brady's like, no, he can't do that because he has to be with Teresa on this, right? They may have their differences, but they have to be a united force when it comes on to parenting Tate. So he's like, oh, really? No, he just feel like his life is over, and it just feels like it's just too much. And he said that he's trying to be responsible. He's actually looking for jobs that would pay more than where he's at right now, which is at the pub. And he's like working hard to pay back the damages he incurred from that boarding school to pay back his dad, right? So he's saying that he did a job application for some I think it was a pool club. So Brady's like, oh, where did the Mirror own it? So I see where this is going. You want Tate is saying, he didn't know that. He don't know if Nicole and EJ are still partners in that pool club, right? So either way, then he admits that, okay, maybe Holly will be there one or two times, but he's saying that the more they push them away, the more they want to be together, which I really agree, because if you separate teenagers from being together, right, they're going to find other ways to sneak around and be together. It's just gonna happen, right? So I definitely do agree that this happened. We were like that at one point too when we were younger, so I get it. So then we go on to the next scene where we see Holly and Eric, right? So Holly is coming in for takeout, and Holly greets Eric, and Eric is saying, how are you doing with everything going on? And she said she's not really doing so well, but she also is happy about her little brother and spending time with him. However, she starts to talk about her mom and how her mom is just overbearing and controlling, and she just, trying to ruin her life as usual, right? So then she's like, Eric, can you talk to her? Can you let her see how amazing I am as how you see me? And he's like, he can't really overstep because, Nicole is her mother, and she, he can't overstep the parents at all. So she's like, she then learns that he's leaving, right? So she's upset because she really is gonna miss him. A lot of people is gonna miss him, and she just doesn't feel happy, and she feels like Eric can talk to Nicole because Nicole respects his opinion. and he still says you can't overstep and you need to talk to your stepdad. And so she says she really is not close with him, and she don't feel like he's really there for her or supports her. He looks down on her, and he really caters more to his kids than her. But Eric reminds her that he was the one who made sure that she got great treatment in Italy, and she was like, yes. She kind of gave me that ungrateful vibe, but that's most teenagers, right? They're ungrateful and selfish at times and think about themselves, right? So she's like, don't leave Eric, I really would like if you're still here, but Eric just says he needs a fresh start. He needs to get on with his life, right? And she's like, she made a snark remark about her mom, like at some point she and EJ is going to just break up, she's going to divorce him, or either one of them is going to ruin things. And she's like, she liked her better with Eric and wish they would have stayed together forever, right? She had the best relationship with him out of all the partners her mom had. But that is where we leave off with them for now. So we go over back to last Friday's episode. If you haven't checked that episode recap, we can check the link below. We see Melinda and EJ, right? So Melinda is about to blow up EJ's life, and she's saying that you ruined my life in many ways. You destroyed my career, everything else. So I'm gonna destroy yours. I'm gonna tell Nicole the truth, right? So EJ is like, why? Why would you want to do that after I gave you the immunity deal, right? She's like, at this point, there's nothing else. She wants to just go for blood at this point, right? So at some point, we will see Nicole coming in, and Nicole, it will be like, what's going on here? So then we see Stefan and Gabby, right? They're still alone at the prison cell, right? Or the waiting room, I guess. So they're embracing, and they're just having a alone time, and they can't believe that this is happening. Gabby's released, Gabby gets to come home, and they hug for the longest while, understandably. So Gabby is saying, there's only one place I really want to go right now. And he's like, where? Anywhere at all, right? Home. So she just wants to go home and just be comfortable, which is understandable given the ordeal she went through. So we come back to the scene where Nicole walks in, and it's like, what's going on here, right? So EJ says to her that he has given Melinda an immunity deal, right? So she said, why would you do that after everything she has put us through, right? Why? So he was about to explain, and then Nicole just started going in on how Melinda's role in the whole baby abduction has affected her, EJ, and Eric, right? Especially Eric, because he had to give back Jude, right? So she's like, how can you be so cruel? How can you not think about the consequences that occurred, right? So she's just ready to tear into her, and Melinda is like, I'm sorry that happened. There is a way that I can, make it up to Eric and you all, right? So she was about to tell Nicole the real truth about Jude's paternity, right? So we leave off with that scene and go into the next one, right? So we see Ava comes to the restaurant to have drinks with Kristen, but again, Ava thinks it's more than just having dinner or drinks. So they got to talking. Kristen talked about, she heard about what happened with her and Harris, and Ava's still upset about that, but Ava said it's not just about Megan. She thinks it's about creating distance, right? And especially what happened with her encounter with Stefan. So Kristen is like, it could be because you had an engagement with Stefan's twin brother, Jake, right? So there is that twin attraction. But she said nobody else knows about it, and let's move forward. Then they got to talking about the whole ordeal with Clyde and what she had to do. So Kristen understands it as a mother, protecting your child, right? You have to do what you have to do. So then they talked about her and her career at the pub. She said, how can you move from running a crime organization to working at the pub? So she's like, she really didn't have much on her resume, especially after the drug bust at the restaurant. So she had to just take what she can take, right? So then Kristen is like, come work for me at the Mirror. Like, I could use the support, the alliance, woman empowerment, and you would make a lot more money. You would she's selling her, right? She's selling her the opportunity and to just come out of the Brady pub rooms that are upstairs, just to elevate herself, right? So she said, it's an offer she can't refuse. So she is on board with working for Kristen, right? And then Kristen is like, and this would also stick it to EJ in a sense, get under his buttons. So Ava has no blood loss with EJ, so she is on board with it as well. So it looks like she's working for Kristen. Let's see how this works. I actually like seeing these pair together, right? I always liked how the rapport is between the two of these women. So let's see how it happens and how that's gonna go, since Gabi is coming back and she doesn't want Gabi to know that she slept with her husband. So let us see this, folks. So we see, before Melinda could go into details, Gabby and Stefan come in, they're over the moon. So EJ come over with his fake self like, Gabriella, happy to see you in the mansion. And Gabby's like, save it, EJ. So that was a funny scene. You can see that at the beginning of this episode recap. So then Melinda, so EJ's like, break out the champagne, and Melinda's like, I'll stay for the champagne, and EJ's like, no, this is a family matter, you gotta go, Melinda. And he drags Melinda out of the house, and that leaves Nicole, Gabby, and Stefan to like talk, right? So then we move on to the next scene. So EJ takes Melinda out of the mansion, and she's like, why you dragged me out of there? I was about to, expose you for what you are, right? So EJ's like, I wouldn't do that if I were you. Like, think about it. Like, you could be ousted as a baby napper, you wouldn't get a proper job. I mean, I can make it worthwhile for you, right? So then we move on to the next scene. So we go back to Nicole, Stefan, and Gabby, right? So Nicole offers her congratulations to Gabby, and Gabby is saying thank you for that. Congratulations on getting your son back. So she's happy about that, and Gabby is excited to meet her new nephew. And Stefan is rubbing it in like, he looks nothing like EJ, and he looks, a lot like Nicole, and blah blah blah. So then they just started getting into each other, and they're ready to make up for lost time, if you know what I mean. So that point, Nicole is just like nauseated at this point. So they went about their business. I mean, that was it with them. So we move on to the next scene, right? So we see Brady and Tate again. Brady offers Tate this pamphlet, this brochure, to do lacrosse in New York, right? So he's like, what is this for? I know this is not what I think it is, right? So Brady's like, you've done lacrosse before in high school, your coach says you're really good, you have great ability. So why not, because we need a reset. All of us need a reset and, come back to a better space, right? Everybody need a little time out. So he's like, you really sending me away? Like, I can't do this. Like, I won't do this. So he's like, he already put a deposit down. It's no, he has no choice or say in it. And Tate is like, you told me to think about it, but Brady is like, he's adamant that this needs to be done. Like, do you rather your mom get involved and let like Grandpa Shane be involved, where you go to the military, right? So Tate is just so over it at this point. He just feels like his life is being controlled. He has no say. I mean, sir, you're a teenager still, you live under your parents' roof. That's just what it is, unless you're just gonna move out and do you, and you're still a minor, sir. So you caused this. At the end of the day, you caused this. You put yourself in this predicament, and you have to understand where your parents are. They may be a little bit overboard, but they care about you, right? You went through an ordeal. Holly put you through hell. You nearly spent a lot of time in prison, so you got to understand where they're coming from. It's not just so simple like that, right? And Tate is like making a case to Brady about Holly turning over a leaf, and she apologized and should be all good. But again, you have to think about your parents, what they went through emotionally, seeing you in jail and you also being affected by it. So you have to understand where they're coming from as well. They're just trying to protect you and they care about you. But again, teenagers are not going to understand that until they become adults and parents themselves. We all go through that cycle. We all can relate, right? So Brady is puts his foot down and said, "This is what's gonna happen, right? There's no ifs, ands, or but. That's what's gonna happen with them." So we see Nicole, right? And Nicole comes out to see EJ and Melinda still there, right? Because EJ at this point he offered Melinda a job at the Mirror, and Melinda was saying like, um, how can I work for Kristen when Kristen killed my daughter? So she's saying that Kristen would be like Kristen making up for what she did to your daughter. And also you both don't like me, so it would work out that way and it would be a better job opportunity than anywhere else. So he said he will speak to Kristen about letting her work as a legal counsel for the Mirror, right? Because we know Belle is not coming back and right now they just have a temporary counsel there, right? So this is when Nicole came out and said, what's going on? Why is she still here? Like she's already aggravated that, Melinda's getting an immunity deal and to see her still outside, like, they made up a lie like to say that they're just finalizing some cases and then that is when Melinda leaves, right? And leaves Nicole and EJ to talk. So Nicole is still upset. She's like, why would you offer a immunity deal? And then EJ tries to explain that it was about Rafe wanting Gabby out, and the only way to get Gabby out is to give Melinda a immunity deal. So that's how he covered it. And she's like, she still doesn't understand why this woman is walking free, right? Considering everything they went through, not having Jude and her role in it, right? So she just says she just wants a little space from EJ. She wants to be outside the mansion. Then she thinks about Eric and Eric saying that he's leaving. So I don't know what that thought is gonna lead to, but let's see, folks. So we see Stefan and Gabby. They had like a romantic moment in the shower. I won't hold you on that. And she said that mustache gotta go. I mean, we the viewers agree this mustache had to go. It was there too long. It started having a personality of its own. So she shaved it, and he looked a lot more handsome with it, in my opinion. I don't know about you guys. I mean, but yeah, he looks a lot better. So we see Tay, right? And Tay is on the phone. He calls Holly and he's saying, like, how are you doing? She said, not really good. So he made a proposition to her, like, how about we run away together, right? He's just fed up at this point. Let's run away together. So we see Eric here at the pub alone, and he got a text message saying that his job application was reviewed and approved for some photography job. So let's see what happens there. And then we see EJ, right? EJ is alone with the baby monitor, and Kristen walks in at this moment, right? She's saying, like, my nephew's down to sleep. I said, yeah. So she said she's about to retire as well. And then EJ's like, let's talk about a possible hire, right? So then we see Ava on the phone, and Ava is speaking to Roman about, you got to put up an employment wanted sign because she has a new job opportunity, right? Because we know that Kristen offered her a job working for her at the Mirror. So she is excited for that new journey. But let's see what happens when she encounters Gabby. Awkward. So we see Gabby is on the phone talking to her daughter, and she's like, she's going to go on the jet tomorrow to see her. Let Will and Sonny know. So then Stefan comes in, and Stefan's like, I bet she's excited to see her mom tomorrow. So then she also is just grateful that Stefan waited all this time, and then Stefan's guilt came in, and Stefan started thinking about his encounter with Ava, his affair with Ava. So this is not going to play out well, and Stefan is like, yes, I remain faithful, knowing darn well he did not. And he knows the type of wife he has. Let's see if this Gabby has the same fire that Camilla's Gabby has. But let's see. Let's see how she's going to react, right? So, that's when we leave them there embracing. And, Stefan just has this guilty look on his face. And Gabby is in bliss right now. Oh boy. But yes, that's the end of today's episode recap. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to my channel.